devices.
Yeah. So
they need to relearn that word.
Yeah. So for everybody who has been paying attention, we try to cover. We're not an HBCU podcast, but if it's something that, hey, we need to cover that because we don't cover it, we need the information to get it to our fans. I reached out to TA a while ago, and so I gave him a date. I missed the date because NFL and basketball is absolutely ridiculous. They fight for supremacy over the timeline, and it just. So I missed out on the opportunity. I made sure I reached out and said, hey, my bad. I missed the invite. Let me go ahead and get you onto the podcast. TA has covered HBCU track. I watch, and I ain't gonna lie, I be looking to see what fam you at in the rankings. I be looking to see what fam you at in the rankings. So I watched, and so I know about Dillard. I never thought North Carolina A&T was that good in track, but apparently they got some runners. Marlo will be happy to know that, fam, you got some middle distance runners that's making some noise. But without further ado, TA, I got a few questions. First up, matchups in the 200 and the 100. Who should we be looking for? I know I want to call them by their new name, the HBCU Athletic Conference. I know they got their track championships coming up soon.
Yes, tomorrow actually, yeah.
So, and we had Danny Wright on, and she said she specifically named Dillard as a team to watch.
Yes.
In that conference. So what? And let's do it that way. In the HBCU AC, what matchup should we be looking for in their conference?
To be honest with you, on the women's side, man, it's just Dillard, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just Dillard. That's how deep they are. But I will say on the men's side, you're gonna see a dogfight especially in the sprints between the gentleman from Dillard and Talladega. You know, you got Jamal Brown at Dillard. He's actually one of the fastest men in all of HBCU track and field, and he's at the NAIA school. So that's a beautiful thing I love about track and field, or the quote unquote Olympic sports. A lot of times it don't even matter what level you at. You know, it's just, can you run, can you jump, can you throw? You know what I'm saying? So and then a lot of times, unfortunately, you know, the portal, like for instance, there's a gentleman who's at, and believe me, I have no beef with the portal. I think it's amazing that athletes get to use it. But there's a gentleman who's at South Florida now, who's at Florida Memorial last year, who's actually the fastest in the nation. He's the fastest in the nation last year at Florida Memorial, okay, amongst all, which is the NAIA school. So again, look for the battle to take place between Dillard and Talladega. Those gentlemen from Talladega, man, they doing good. But again, like I said, you can expect, you know, the portal to be active, you know, after this track season, you know, for the track athletes that come from some of your smaller HBCUs.
you cannot have a problem with the portal and still notice the deficiencies that exist with the system.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right. So we did the HBCU AC. All right. So let's do the CIAA. What matchups in CIAA should we be?
Oh man. Okay. So on the women's side, now Fayetteville State, those sisters, man, they've been so deep, you know, as far as talent. But those sisters over there in Winston-Salem, man, they coming with it. They got one of the best sprinters, you know what I'm saying, in all of HBCU track and field. And also their relay team is actually, the 4x1 relay team especially, is actually faster than most of a lot of the SWAC and MEAC schools. Okay. So Winston-Salem State, those young ladies, man, they go. Now Fayetteville State, they have the depth, so on paper they may get, you know, they may get them as far as the CIAA crown, but Winston-Salem State, just don't be surprised if they're able to pull that off. Mm-hmm. Now on the men's side, it's things are a lot thicker. You got like four schools. You got like four schools that's playing like tug of war. You got Virginia State, okay? They're gonna rack up in the field events. A lot of people, when you think of track and field, remember, field is part of track and field. That's where a lot of people will kill you with points. Even on the big Division I, the quote unquote big Power 5, you know, schools for years and years, Arkansas used to win the nationals with field events and distance runners.
Yep.
Okay, so a lot of HBCUs, I'm not saying are copying that same model, but they figured that, hey, if I get so many guys in the field, or ladies in the field, we can conquer that. So, but you got Virginia State, but you got Claflin on the track. Okay, you got St. Aug on the track. So that's where that's where the eye test is gonna be for most people. But the field events are gonna surprise you when they count out the team points. Okay, so again, look for Claflin, St. Aug, and Claflin, St. Aug, and Virginia State to be in that dogfight.
All right. So we did the CIAA, HBCU, AC, the SIAC.
The SIAC. Okay. Now, on the women's side, man, them young ladies at Albany State, boy, they coming with it. You know what I'm saying? They coming with it. They making sure they hitting you up. They hitting up points in every event, from the steeplechase all the way down to long jump and triple jump. I mean, that head coach, man, has been on it. Okay, so, but Benedict has been, someone to be of concern in Clark Atlanta. The sisters in ATL, they're gonna be pretty much, you can see on their home track for their championship, next week or whatever. Okay, so the SIAC, and it should be interesting, man. The races will be competitive, and it's going to be competitive in the field. Now on the men's side, now Benedict, they trying to hold on to that crown and not let it go. But I'm gonna tell you something. The brothers from Morehouse, they coming. They coming. Okay? They coming. They got a lot of depth, and they've taken advantage of them distance races as well. And now you got Albany State. Now currently, you can say Albany State has the fastest man in HBCU track and field currently in Cabrian Moore. Okay, that's debatable. You can say because his time was over the allowable win limit. All right, then you have the brother over at Alabama State, who may, and he can feel free, to debate that. Trust me, I ain't got no dog in that fight. Okay, but Albany State, they're gonna dominate the sprints. Okay, they're gonna dominate the sprints, but where they may miss out is, like I said, they don't have as much depth in the field, and that's where you have Benedict, coming and pretty much taking advantage of the competition. But like I said, Morehouse is going to make things a lot more complicated in those distance races. Okay, those middle distance all the way to long distance.
So how many sprinter type races are there in a track meet?
Usually, when you refer to as sprints, you say the 100, the 200, and the 400. The 400 meters is considered a long sprint per se, right. But the 800 meters is now developing a reputation for the longest sprint race. Okay, if you ever watch the Olympics, World Championships, or even the NCAA championships, the 800 meters is a foot race from start to finish. Okay, right. It ain't all about just necessarily saying, okay, I can just lay back and then take over when I want to, like in the 10,000 meters per se. All right, but the 800 meters, but typically the 100, 200, and 400 meters, and then of course you have your 4x100 relay team, and then you have your albeit it's a hurdle event, but your 110 meter hurdles, because a lot of your relay people and jumpers are also 110 meter hurdles.
Right.
So, is it becoming a thing where it's like the 400 runners are like running the 800 as well? Is that like the two events that kind of coincide, or is it still like 200 and 400 runners?
Yeah, you still have 200, 400 runners. A lot of times the guys with foot speed who want to become stronger, they'll double with the 2 and the 4. A lot of guys who run the 800 meters but want to pick up their foot speed, they'll run the quarter as well. Okay, or quarter milers who want to gain more strength, they'll run the 800 meters. Or they'll double up with that. Okay,
for sure.
Then you have your 4x4, and then you got the 4x16, where they each run a lap.
That's usually an indoor race, the 4x6, and some special meets like maybe a pin relays or something. You have the 4x-mile relay. Okay, all right.
Is there a 4x8? Is that a thing, or is that just high school?
No. Yeah, 4x8, but only in special meets. In you don't have them in championship meets per se. Okay, so you have your sprint medley relays. That's where you have a 200, a 200, a 400, then an 800. Okay, which is basically a mile relay per se. Okay, but just in a different format. All right, as far as the runners, whatever. Yeah, so that's what, you know, we have the pin relays, drink relays coming up and things like that. So you'll have some HBCUs that will go to those meets, but a lot of times in the past few years, less and less HBCUs been going to those bigger meets because your conference meet is like next week. You know, you don't want to risk any injuries, things of that nature, or fatigue for that matter.
All right, so we're gonna go MEAC first for obvious reasons. So in the MEAC.
Okay, the MEAC. All right, in the MEAC. The MEAC is going to be a very exciting meet. Now, team-wise, because everybody is going to compete. It's just team-wise, man. It's just Howard and Hampton. You know, on the women's side, you know, we'll you know, stick with the ladies first. Howard and Hampton, man. I mean, I'm sorry, not Hampton. Howard and Norfolk. They're just so deep. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Howard has so many hurdlers and sprinters. You know, they're going to be the showcase of the meet per se. And then you got Norfolk in all the distance races. Okay, from the 800 on up, Norfolk is going to rule those races. Now, the risky part is going to be in the field events. Who's going to outpoint the other in the field event, and that's going to determine your champion. Indoors, you know, Norfolk, you know, they won the meet. Okay, they won the meet, but Howard, you know, Howard put up a big fight. Okay, but outdoors, a lot of times because the races are different, you ain't gotta necessarily be jockeying for that cut-in position like you do indoors. You see a lot of indoor runners getting bumped or getting pushed out the way or falling down. See, outdoors changes up the whole dynamic. Okay, so now, you know, Coach Oliver, you know, he's, you know, of course, doing an amazing job, and Howard actually, I think, has been crowned. Well, on the men's side, has been crowned as Hurdle U. Okay, and the whole United States of America, as far as, you know, NCAA track and field goes. Okay, so you know, shout out to them on that. Now, on the men's side, you have, of course, Howard, Norfolk, and you also have Coppin State. Okay, Coppin State has a lot of sprinters, and both them and Norfolk, they're usually good about, you know, getting a few foreigners and things of that nature to help out, you know, in the sprints and middle distances. So, you know, you should see a lot of competition in those events. All right. Now, I want to give this shout out before I forget. Right now, currently, the #1 high jumper in the nation is from HBCU, Caleb Snowden from University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. Okay. He has jumped 7'5", and former NFL player Donald Driver, former NFL receiver, standout for the Green Bay Packers, is the all-time HBCU high jump leader at 7'6.5". Okay, I had a chance to compete against him about 60 pounds ago. Okay, when I was jumping Prairie View. But anyway, Caleb Snowden is 1.5 inches away from tying Donald Driver's record. All-time.
Is he looking at the Olympics?
Oh yeah, most definitely, yes. Now, the only thing I hate though about, and this is for all collegiate athletes, a lot of times they be so burnt out by the time Olympic trials come because they've been competing so much. See, the professional athletes, they have the luxury on competing when, you know, when they want to per se. So they're a lot fresher when Olympic trials come around. So hopefully Caleb's legs will be in good shape to compete against those guys, you know, that are accustomed to making Olympic and world championship teams.
We at Florida State, we had that problem. We had the NCAA champion in the 100 and 200 went to the Olympics, and he have nothing left. Absolutely nothing left. It didn't even, I don't even think he qualified for the finals. He just had nothing left. All right, so the SWAC.
Okay, so Caleb Snowden, that was the start. Now I will say this: Pine Bluff, they're going to be in there. They're going to be in there. Now, the tricky thing is TSU is on the old Arkansas model. Coach Duncan down there, very, very great guy. I've been knowing him since my college days. He has, man, wised up and just focused largely on those sprints and distances, and he has a bad 4x1 team now. Okay, so TSU they gonna be in there, but Pine Bluff got the #1 team in the SWAC. Okay, as far as the 4x100, so that's gonna be an exciting race. Okay, now you got Jackson State, you know, coming in there, and you're gonna have Prairie View because again, they got the field events, they have a few distance runners and a few.
It's the men's, right?
Yes, the men's. Yeah, we're talking about the men's side. Yes. Okay. So you got that, but Bama State, okay, Bama State is they're gonna run the sprints. Okay, I mean, now I don't know if Coach Bean is holding his 4x1 out for something, but right now they have all the top sprinters. I mean, they in HBCU track and field right now, they have 3 of the top 400 meter sprinters. Okay, and they have the top mile relay right now. Okay, so they're gonna be, they're gonna be a force to reckon with. But like I said, if you're not deep in those field events, you can't just say just because how good somebody looks on the track that they're gonna win it. So right now, Texas Southern probably has the edge, but it depends on, again, how Bama State, if they clean up in the sprints, in all the sprints, and then, can get some quality points in field events, we're going to have a close finish there, okay, for the team title. Now, on the women's side, we saw FAMU win indoors, okay? And by the way, the matchup of the year in track and field, in HBCU track and field, is in the women's high jump. It's a tie right now, the top 2 in the nation, between Jamie Richardson of Grambling and the sister Brianna Marshall from FAMU, okay? They both just right under 6 foot. Sister Marshall went 6 foot indoors to win the indoor crown, but that is the top matchup of the season when they face each other at the SWAC championships. But with that being said, you have FAMU, but Bama State is trying to make sure they hold on to that crown. Okay, Bama State, they coming real deep this year. They are real deep. All right, but at the same time, I've seen surprises happen. All right, you could be real deep, and then you have that dark horse that comes and will snatch the crown from you. All right, so again, like I said, and that dark horse, it could either be Prairie View, okay, or it could be FAMU. I think Coach Ellenwood got a trick up his sleeve that he ain't showing us everything. FAMU had a real good showing last week in Gainesville. The ladies from FAMU, that is, running one of the fastest 4x1 times, etc. So again, it's going to be exciting. I'm actually planning on being at the SWAC outdoor meet, okay, to cover that.